Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Abeg Who Sent Me. My name is Titilayo Ekundayo, your host for this podcast. And if you're an entrepreneur or you want to be entrepreneur, this is the podcast you should be listening to. And of course, please feel free to share with your friends that are entrepreneurs or that want to be entrepreneurs. They would always thank you for it. Today we have an amazing young man on the podcast today. He's the founder of Dacurate Insight, a data site providing information and analytics about the Nigerian political space. So if you want to know about the 2023 elections and those that want to run for offices, for different offices, this guy is the guy to check out for. Dacurate Insight. He is a product manager and digital marketer who helps businesses integrate technology as well as communicate their products and services to build customer trust, drive awareness, and sales. Today we have Mateen Korede Taomu in the building. Korede, good to have you on the podcast. Okay, so Korede, what does it take to develop an idea? Because everybody seems to have an idea. Some people even say it in a way to say that I don't want to share my idea with people. I don't want people to steal my idea. And you laugh and say idea is almost like the cheapest thing you can find. It is what you make of the idea. So the question I'm putting to you, Korede, is if somebody stumbles on a fantastic idea, at least in their own opinion, how do you think they can develop this idea from an idea phase to something tangible that people can start to pay for?
Okay, so when you have an idea or you believe you have a $1 million idea that you want to explore, there are things you must consider first. There are 4 elements I'll say you need to consider. Number 1, your ability. Number 2, your competence. Number 3, your financial situation. Number 4, your network. I'll take that again. Your ability, your competence, your financial situation, then your network.
Financial situation and network. Okay. Interesting.
Yes, because most times when you want to start with an idea, you have to know that can it bring the money that I desire. So when I start with your why, what is your why? So I want to make $1 million. Why? I want to make $1 million to help my family be better. Be better at what? To be better at A, B, C, D. Okay, so your business is to make your family better. So that's the why question. But when you have these four things, the ability, your competence, financial, and network, you break it down. It's almost like a mini SWOT analysis that will help you to really understand who you are as an entrepreneur, so you can now forge ahead with idea. So most times they'll tell you start with your network. You have a number of people in your network that there are some things you don't need to pay for because you have relationships. You have what we call emotional capital, so you can actually withdraw from that and get things that what will take a lot of people months to get. So most times people always run with ideas without going through the network to see. So if I start a basic business like baking cakes, start with your network. Which network within your network, who would buy it? Just look at it. How often would they buy it? Number 2, which was the finance. So your financial situation, you need to check that as well. It's very important. So what kind of cakes can you make? So I'm sticking with cake idea. Now, how much do you have in the bank? How much assets do you have? Are you owing anybody money? What we call current assets do you have? So you need to know these things. So if you know your financial situation, do you need to sort out all your debts first before you start the business? Know that very well. Or do you know how to get money from somebody? That's where the network will help you get your finance. A lot of business people got money from their parents or from someone that was close to them. So it's ensuring that using your network to get your finance. Competence and ability, they are often tied together, because most people want to go into a business, they have no knowledge, they have no understanding, they don't have no capacity, they have no capability, they are not reliable in that space. It might seem like a very great idea, but you are not clear on it. So when you have that, you need to really do almost like this mini SWOT analysis to really understand yourself.
You've mentioned the fact that your network is very important, and then knowing your financial state is very important before even developing the idea, is to say that, okay, so this idea, who in my network would patronize me or would pay me if I implement this idea? That's a good question to ask. You said you should ask, okay, so what is my financial status? Am I owing anybody? Am I in debt with this business, with this idea? If I implement it, put me in debt and all of that. So you're saying that those are some of the fundamental questions that must be answered while developing an idea. Am I correct? Is that what you meant?
Yes,
okay.
You are right. However, in your network, I'll break down your network for you so you are clear on it.
All right, please.
There are some people in your network, they can provide financial support.
Okay.
That's one. There are some people in your network that will be your customers.
Okay.
There are some people in your network that will help you fine-tune your idea. Right now, you don't have a business, you just have you believe you have a good idea. So they help you fine-tune the idea. So I use Dacurate as an example. So when I started Dacurate in 2020, November, right after the NSAS. So it seems very weird. I started because I was angry about the NSAS testing, and I felt, what could we do about it? And in that state of emotion, I decided I needed to ensure that we need to get more accountability from people in office. But during my talk with a number of people in my network, it helped me to fine-tune the idea. The same people in my network became financial supporters. So you definitely find someone in your network. If you don't, that says a lot about you, about people you keep. Not everyone will put money, and please don't go and force people who are supposed to help you fine-tune your idea become your what we call sponsors. Then expect the sponsor to be customers. Don't mix them up. What you do is present your idea to them, the people you believe that have that skill set to correct you and provide more insights so that you can actually serve your customers better.
Okay, so just like the typical case of don't use someone that should be your wife, don't make them your girlfriend, and then don't make your girlfriend your wife. that kind of situation.
That's a good one. I've not heard that before. But
You've heard that.
I'm hoping that I hope the wife is the wife, then the wife is also the girlfriend. Maybe on Friday she's not the girlfriend. You take her out. Because the wife always wants to be a girlfriend in certain situations. But as long as they're the same person, they are good.
It's just a very whatever thing that they do when they are trying to straighten you out as regards your relationship. But yes, I get your point, Korede, to say that the strength of your network goes a long way in developing your idea. Be that as it may, some people, because I think the network is grown intentionally. Korede, am I correct to say that we grow our network intentionally? It's an intentional process. Yes?
Definitely. Your network can be determined by your career trajectory. Oftentimes a job which is under your career can be that. Sometimes if you're probably in the entertainment space, you probably know more people than if you work in, let's say, the back end of an FMCG company.
Yeah, so Korede, is it about the number of people you know or the quality of people that you know? Because that's what we are saying here. We're saying that in your network you find sponsors, in your network you find people that you should find people that would help you strengthen the idea. In your network, you should find people that would help you, what else would you say, sponsor, strengthen, even provide services for you. In your network, you should find customers, according to what you said. Yes?
So definitely, so like I said, financial support, which is sponsors, customers, then also people will help fine-tune your idea. The other people in your network, but I'll just cut it down to these three. Now, most times people think network is, how do we say it, people on my contact list, people I grew up with. The world has become so deep, how do you say it, the world have changed considerably. So your network is not just people on what we call it, people that you grew up with, someone that is your neighbor. Your network is, in a way, the whole world who you connect with. People via Twitter, people via Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever platform you use. The world is such a way that you can reach out to post a tweet, and the next thing, that is a network. You all see how someone says, I'm looking for a job, please retweet. This thing might be on your TL. So that's a network. Don't limit what you see a network as, because I've put things out and a number of people have given me feedback, and I've also done the same thing. I'm not their customer, I'm not their financial, but I help fine-tune. In other places, I'm their customer. So that network, you need to also not to assume it's just people on your contact list. Now, quality over quantity is right, but I'll say also context. Now, you can have 10,000 people on your contact list, which might not be helpful to fine-tune your business, but they are good customers. That's one. You can have only 10 people on your contact list, but because of the type of business, you need people that would, how do you say it? You need people that are close to 10,000 that you can sell to. But that's the same thing about network. You don't need to know them directly. Your network can help you do that. And you should always, because people build people. Technologies are just the means to an end. People help you get to that destination. So that your why that you're going about trying to say, okay, I'm building this business because of X, Y, Z. To get to that destination, you need people. People would always be your major support or your major factor for success. At the same time, can be also the major factor for failure. So that network is super powerful to ensure that you succeed or fail.
So the people in your network are very important. Thank you for that, Korede. Before I, this conversation keeps pointing us towards your why. Your why. What is your why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to execute this idea? And the question that comes to mind is, how do I know my why? So I want to know my why. I've seen how important knowing my why is, but how do I get there? How do I know my why?
That's a loaded question. It's almost like a timed bomb.
Is it?
They have to be careful of that. How do you know your why?
Exactly.
I think your why often deals with self-awareness. There's the level of self-awareness you need to go about. How can you know that? I would say, number one is keeping your eye open. But why can change? Let me be clear on that. So like I said, you start a business to help family fend for themselves. But your why can change, or it can evolve. Okay. So when I started Dacurate, one of the things was I wanted people to be accountable. I wanted them, but now it is bigger. I wouldn't share them here because why is for you, is not for everybody. What you share is probably your mission, your mantra, or something. Your why is just for you. So my why is so strong that if I say it now, I'm like, come on, be realistic. So it has become bigger than that. Okay, trying to ensure that we have citizens have more information about the political space and make better decisions. That was the initial why. It's a bigger why now. So I have seen something. My eyes have been open. Why? Because I have learned from other people. I have asked questions. I have gone online. I have traveled. You can travel with the internet. You don't need to leave the comfort of your home. So I have traveled. I've looked at my interests. Yeah.
I like the
most
fact that
people always think
travel with the internet and not leave your house. I like that.
Yeah, you can travel. A lot of people want to do this thing. There are websites where you can actually fly a plane.
Oh,
this
really?
thing on the internet. Yeah, there are
Like
platforms where you can take a. Yes, the simulation. You can drive a car in a different city, any city you want.
And you see the landmark.
These are things. Yeah, you see. I have not tried Lagos, so I've not driven in Lagos. I'm sure that in that simulation there will probably be traffic. So hopefully.
Well, what site is this?
I'll be able to share that this thing maybe so you can share with people.
Okay.
I think it's a long link, but
okay.
So you can travel, you can see the world. So that way your why becomes bigger. So you just wanting to feed. If you solve that problem of eating, what next? You want to eat bigger food? Definitely not, because your why becomes a bigger thing. Some is just badge of pride. My why is that Japan will be the country known for excellence. That's their why. They'll tell you why, because Japan has always been seen as people who give substandard goods. I want to show them Japan can be number one in something. It's a thing of pride. So your why is personal, but you have to be clear on it and talk to people who are very close to you, who can give you good feedback, so that you'll be like, oh yes, that's a good why, or no, you need to rethink your why. I don't think that would be able to stand the test of time. I don't think that why truly conveys what you really want to do. So people can pull you back. So when you start or run with the business, you can say, oh, Mr. Man, how does this connect to what you do? I have a number of people like that in my network. I'm putting stuff out on social media about my work, and someone just sends me a message, Mr. Man, this is not what you talked about. You said A, B, C, D as your why. Why are you putting this? And I try to explain to them that, oh no, it is supposed to. He said no. Don't be swayed left and right because people say, what is your why? So you stick to the reason. So that determines your strategy and how things flow.
Korede, if I get you clearly,
yeah.
You're saying that your why is like a business compass that keeps you locked towards where you want to achieve. So there are different distractions and different things that you can do, but your why helps you to stay in line and to stay in focus. Am I correct? Is that what you're saying?
I think I need to employ Titi to paraphrase for me, because it seems
I'm a good paraphraser. Yeah.
Because definitely it's your compass. It's your compass. It's where you're. So you need to know why you're doing it.
You're doing it. Okay. So two very interesting things I've picked from what you said. One, understand your why. It's your compass, is what will keep you in check towards achieving your overarching goal. And then number two, your why keeps evolving. So it's not okay, I know my why and that's the end. So it's a place one has to constantly go, because your why could evolve. It could become bigger, it could become stronger, it could become deeper. Yes, Korede. That's I was able to get that. Thank you very much. That was on point. So after knowing my why as somebody that has a business idea, what is the next step to do?
Okay, after knowing your why, I said you must also ensure that you do a mini SWOT analysis, knowing the 4 things, which is your ability, your competence, your financial situation, and your network. And the reason why I would say your network is critical for the others is because your network can tell you your ability. Your network can tell you if you have the capacity to do this business. Your network can tell you if you're a reliable person. Someone in your network will be able to tell you. Someone will tell you if you are competent. Someone will tell you your financial, or probably help your financial situation. I have to be honest, there was a time I was doing peer review feedback with some people. It was like a manager's meeting, and some of the feedback I got was almost like they all ganged up to tell me that, and they never met before. that was the first time we were having a sit down. Everybody said the same thing, and I was like, wow, no, this is not me. No, I just, when you want to be defensive, but your network would give you few consultation, and
without paying for it, you take it.
Yes, the only thing that it is just your emotions might be bruised, but you need people like that to tell you. Because if you go into business, or if you start or run with that idea you have, and you've not fine-tuned it with your network, you would mess up a lot of things. You spoil a number of things. They will introduce you to your customers introduce you to one other person, and it will spoil something. So you need to fine-tune with your network. That's why it's critical. So one time, another incident apart from the manager's one where I got a feedback was my line manager some years ago. So it was almost like that's actually the best line manager I've ever worked with. Her name is iammrkore.
Thank you, iammrkore.
Yes. Till tomorrow, she's no one has stopped her, because she pushed me to a level where I'll say, wow, I'm proud of what I've become, but I'm still definitely going further. She's also one of the persons that when I started Dacurate, I went to go and meet, and she told me, consider A, B, C, and D, which were blind spots I didn't even think were things. But one time I had a meeting, and we had appraisal, yes. And I just said, please, can you give me honest feedback about this? And she went in, blah, 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 blah. You're poor in this, but you're good in this, you're poor in this. And in those other areas, I thought I was good. So most times you might want to start in this thing and say, oh, I'll make 10 million. And say, want somebody in your network say, you can't handle money. You're very poor at money. You don't know how to hold money. When you get money, you just spend it immediately. You don't think before you spend. And you're like, wow, this hurts. But please, you need to take it like that. So you get that feedback or you start the business, you have a lot of what we call assets, but you don't have cash because you spent it on things, and it's because of those habits. And so that's why you really need to leverage on your network to ensure that idea becomes a living business. When you have an idea, it's almost like you're pregnant, and you have to ensure that you have the right people to help you deliver the child. You need to ensure that you deliver that child. So when you deliver the child now it has to grow. You have to nurture it. Most people, when they start a business, they always feel that the child needs to start feeding them. It might not be the case for you. So all the people in your network will be the ones who will help you deliver that idea, so it can become a profitable business to reach the goal you designed for it. So that's it.
Okay, so in other words, we are saying that in the process of developing an idea, we must be ready to submit ourselves to be given constructive criticism. We must be ready to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, so these are my strengths and these are my weakness, whether it's coming from you as a person and coming from your network, especially from your network, because there's a part of ourselves that we don't see that other people see. So it is more like preparing yourself emotionally to meet yourself while developing your idea. If I'm correct, Korede, is that part of what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I might need to start. We need to really talk about how you help me with my feelings so that I make my life easier.
Okay.
But yes,
yeah,
so
okay.
For people listening, I want them to be clear that, you see, we're not talking too much about the idea for now. Because you've developed an idea, you need to fine-tune it. That's why a network is there. But you being the mother of the unborn child, you actually matter, because if the mother is not capable of carrying the child can die. So that's why you as a person going to be an entrepreneur need to be equipped with the right things or with the right people, so that you can have a well nourished or a child who comes out fully formed.
Okay. Korede, before we go, I would like us to touch on two things that you mentioned. One, you talked about blind spots, which everybody has. We all have blind spots. We don't see 360. So how do we make what's the word now? How do we ensure that our blind spot is covered? So for you, it was I can't remember her name now, but that's your line manager that
Adirayo.
Adirayo that helped you to see that blind spot. So I want you to speak one to blind spots, and then two, okay, financial status. Okay, so I look at myself and I say, okay, Titi, with the 0 naira that you have in the bank right now, in all the 5 bank accounts that you have, it's only 0 naira. Does that mean that I can't start a business, or does that mean that I can't develop the idea? So when you say that look at your financial status, what are really the metrics we're looking at? Is it the amount in the account, or what really are the metrics? So 2 questions: 1, blind spot; 2, financial status.
I'll be careful with the blind spot answer because most people have very predictable answers, but the issue is always practicality. Number 1 is self-awareness. So you must constantly review yourself. Take time, maybe 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes. It seems like, oh, you want to recommend meditation. No, self-awareness. Really sit down and look at yourself. What have I done today? What did I like about what I did today? What didn't I do well today? Or if you can't do it daily, you can do it weekly. What did I do on Saturday, last week Saturday, that I didn't enjoy? Or what made me lose my anger, stuff like that. So when you look at that, you can now think, let's say for example, last week you flipped you got angry while you were on the road. Who was the person that made you do that? Why? Have you done that before? So you begin to ask yourself questions. Now, this is the questions for yourself, and you answer those questions. Then from there, you now look at mentors. A mentor can be your peer, someone older, and in this case, in the way the world is now, you can have reverse mentoring, someone younger than you. So a lot of people who are CEOs are now looking to millennials and Gen Z to teach them about technology and the tools or other things like NFT, crypto, and the rest, because they've mastered some things, and some things are now their blind spots. So what you need to do is be self-aware, know what you constantly ask questions so you know your status at every point in time. The way you go for medical checkup, you also have your own personal checkup. You don't have to be a billionaire or millionaire to do that. Then secondly, find mentors. You don't have to see them. I said with the internet you can travel the world, see people online, research them, see some of people who have lived the life or the stage you are in and they've passed that level. So you can read their books, you can watch their videos, you can consume their materials so that you don't need to repeat their mistakes. Also, that's that. Self-awareness and mentorship. Those are 2 things for you to get a blind spot. You will know your mentor would help you do that. I have people for my financial state. I have people for my mental. I have people. The reason why I have different people is because I believe these are their strong. One person can have multiple skill sets, but those are the 2 things I'll say.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And then I think that in the light of reading books, it would be a good thing to read Know Your Why by Simon Sinek. I think that will put a whole lot of clarity to knowing your why. Okay, so let's quickly speak to financial status and then we can call it a day.
Okay, money. Money is the topic that always causes discomfort and makes people uneasy. But money, first of all, it's a tool. And if you don't see money as a tool, we would have a problem with starting or pushing our business. There's no time to even tell you a number of things that I've experienced running Dacurate and support, as well as my current role. So I work full-time as an innovation manager for a marketing agency, and that money is also a major factor in everything. But that's why I said people will get you to your destination, and people can also derail you. There are people in my network who it will have taken me maybe 15 years to get to the top before I got access to certain people. But because of the emotional investment, I got that. Now, sometimes, how do you get money? You want to start an idea and you're not sure of how to do it. What you need to do is, what skill set can people pay you for now that you can transfer? So basically, you find a business or work with someone who can fund what you are building on the side. So if you are an accountant, focus on the accountant while you are maybe trying to learn how to be a videographer. What will bring money now? You have to think of what skills do you have currently that can fund that business. If that is one aspect. Another aspect of financial situation is who can you meet that can give you money, or you can work for that will give you money, or what we say, exchange something for it. So let me put like this. You might not have money for something, but you can do trade by barter. I'll help you do this documentation if you help me build this platform. That's something. Yeah. So you don't need to spend that much money on it. So you can exchange value. Okay. So that's another way. Another way is to call for help. You could crowdsource because your network has really helped. That's one thing I did with Dacurate. I did crowdsource within my network. I created something. I had shown that I am serious about it. When I shared the idea, I wrote down what the feedback they gave me, and I went back, started working on it. And I came back and said, based on what you said before, this is what I have now. Most times, people like that are impressed. So if someone maybe has helped you fine-tune your idea, you implement what the person has said, you go back and say, based on what you said, this is what I have done. Say, wow. So if you can implement this, then I can trust you with my money. So there are people like that say, okay, because of this, you know what, you're not going to pay for this. I'm going to offer you this. I'm telling you things that have happened to me. So I'm not telling you what I read. I'm telling you what I've lived out. Okay. Some people who have given me advice, I got access to them. I wrote down what they said, went back to them, and because I implemented it, they offered me A, B, C, and D. There are people that you see only on TV, and they tell you, I'll call this person right now and tell him about you because I feel that now you are ready. So those things are definitely, money is a tool. Like I'll repeat, money is a tool. Money is a tool to get you to your destination. Don't abuse its position or don't abuse its role in your business, because a lot of things you are looking for is in your network. All the things you are looking for, many of the things you are looking for to get you to the next level is in your network. You just have to open your eyes to see it. And opening your eyes to see it is coming through self-awareness and ensuring that you don't allow the environment to dictate your mood. Everybody's complaining this way. You're doing, oh yes, you need to stop talking and need to listen inside so you can hear more. So when you're developing or executing the idea, you know who to meet, you know when to talk, and you know how to talk. And you never know. Maybe in the next few years you have one of the biggest businesses and everybody's happy.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Korede. That was very informative and enlightening. I'm so glad you decided to honor our invitation to come on the podcast. So, in closing, Korede, can you just summarize all of this when as we get to developing an idea, let's say in 2 to 3 sentences, and we'll call it a day. Takeaway points that you want people to go with.
Okay, thank you very much. So I have to say, this is my first podcast as a guest, so I feel honored.
Yay!
And excited that, now I can now brag that yes, I've invited you. I've invited you for a podcast. Yes, I think who sent me, invited me. So I've been a guest this time. So maybe if I go to the embassy or something, like I've been invited as a guest.
So, just Google it.
So when developing an idea, number 1, be clear on your why. Number 2, do a SWOT analysis on your person. Number 3, understand your network and how to maximize it. Those are 3 things I would say that are critical for it. Every other thing flows from that. Every other thing flows from that. Okay. But I really hope all entrepreneurs who are listening to this, or when you listen to this, you really take some nuggets and apply. Because some mistakes we make could be avoided, and some, maybe that's why we're even doing this podcast. Maybe for someone who will listen and say, wow, you really saved me from a lot of mess. So
yeah, that's what will make
with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you. By developing an idea, is important. And you should subscribe to Abed who sent me.
Yay! Thank you very much, Korede, for an interesting time. We really appreciate you, and of course, I'm sure that people will take a whole lot of things out of this conversation. And yes, please check out Dacurate, especially now that we are approaching, interesting times in Nigeria. So check out Dacurate. I'm sure you will learn a lot from that. Thank you, Korede. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for having me.